Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of our Mental Health Matters series. Today, I have with me English Nichols. English is actually one of our board members. And today, we have the pleasure of sitting down with Faith Moss. So, Faith, let's jump right into it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, just want to start off by saying thanks for having me. I'm excited for this collaboration, and I love what you guys are doing, acknowledging this month and the importance of it. But yes, I am Faith Moss. I am a recent graduate of University of West Georgia. I received my Bachelor of Science degree in Health and Community Wellness with a minor in nutrition. I have started my own nonprofit, is in the works, Kicking the Stigma, and it is an adult kickball tournament and mental health fundraiser located here in Gainesville, Georgia. And that fundraiser takes place 3 times a year during the fall, spring, and summer. And that's actually how we got connected. And then lastly, I've been engaged, so I'm a fiance as well. And that's just a little bit about me. Of course, I'm super passionate about mental health and just wholeness of a whole person. So, physical activity, nutrition, all, the healthy journey. So that's a little bit about myself.
Awesome. So what is Kicking the Stigma and what is the inspiration behind it?
Okay, yeah, definitely. So Kicking the Stigma is a program that I created. It is an adult kickball tournament, and it is a mental health fundraiser. So the whole purpose behind it is to raise awareness of mental health. We get them in with the kickball, and it's to target the working class individual that may not think it is an issue or something that they should focus on. So we get them in with the kickball, and then there at the tournament, we educate and kind of get people involved on some skills and different things like that to help out with their mental health. And just really just making a stamp in the community to be, draw awareness for it. Everybody knows what we're gathering for. So even if they don't participate in the skills activities, we're making a voice for mental health, And what was the second part of your question? I'm going to make sure I covered it all.
What was the inspiration behind it?
Yes, the inspiration. Yeah, definitely. I've always had a passion for wellness. Obviously, that was my major in college. I've been a group fitness instructor, and an athlete. So that I had the physical activity part, all together, did that. Just really wanted to tap into something, a part of the wellness journey that I hadn't really tapped in before. So I joined the kickball league in Gainesville, and I really loved the game, and it was for adults. And I really felt like that would be a good thing to combine the two: physical activity, mental health. And so yeah, that was how it started. And it was just something that was prominent in my life, even though I felt like I hadn't mastered or tapped into mental health before, just, promoting for it. It was something that I had to overcome in my own life. Being in stressful situations, I just knew that I wasn't willing to accept improper mental functioning, just being overwhelmed, stressed out with making decisions for my life. Just being a college student and choosing what I want to do in my life was very stressful. And I had to work on it for myself. So I just wanted to share my journey and help someone out, basically.
So I'm just going to piggyback off what English just asked you. So last year during the pandemic, and please correct me if I'm wrong, was that your first time having one of your tournaments last year?
Yes, my first tournament was in the summer of 2020. Yes, so we've had 3 so far.
So you had a kickball tournament in the middle of the pandemic. How and what did the planning process look like? Were you nervous?
Right.
Started in the middle of a pandemic. What was that like?
Well, the pandemic started around March. I tried to wait a couple months. I was trying to have it in May of last year because that was Mental Health Month. but I pushed it back, and it was ended up being in like June, July. So I tried to wait for it to stop down, but a lot of my peers and people that was in my planning committees just basically told me people are ready to get out. And as long as, you're kind of conscious and trying to put the effort there, I feel like it would be a really good event for people to gather after being at home for so long. So the demand was there. So I just wanted to see what it would take, if people would take on to it. And they did. So I just really, for the first kickball tournament, we were very conscious, and we had to wash the kickballs in between games, hand sanitizer, sign waivers. We were just really trying to be conscious, but we didn't want the disease, the COVID, to stop us, so we were just being precautious. And it wasn't nearly as big as my third one. So we maybe had like 6 to 8 teams, which, the last tournament we had 18. So the numbers were lower. We had access to several fields, and it was outdoors. So, for the tournament, it kind of helped when we were cautious. But leading up to the events, that is just free mental health promotion that is like contact free. So, I mean, I didn't have to, we didn't risk COVID or anything by being face to face. We promote mental health and just give the facts and just create awareness on our social media platforms and things leading up to the tournament. So we just one day event that we just had to control our odds, but still by making a prominent, impact on mental health in the community.
Well, that's really good. So what is the biggest stigma you hear about mental health?
There are a lot. In your last interview, she definitely hit on, I think, a prominent one. She talked about, what was it? The people that, you think that you have to be diagnosed. It's just something for the everyday individual. And that's completely true. And that's how to target with Kicking the Stigma. It's not, mental health is a journey for everybody, regardless of diagnosis. Because we want to focus on prevention instead of treatment. So people like to focus in on, therapy or whatever it may be once they have been diagnosed. But if we sensed us being overwhelmed or just was conscious of our body and we're more proactive, we could prevent a diagnosis. But yeah, it's a journey that everybody, goes through. But outside of what she's already covered, I would say shame. Okay. And in every stigma in with mental health, comes with shame. And that's multiple layers. So shame within, external shame. So like, meaning if I had some issues and I just wanted to seek treatment, but I was, inside I was just like, I don't want to be labeled as crazy or, I don't want anybody to think down on me. That's internal. Okay. That's you thinking it yourself. And then it's also systems, just external outside of yourself that make you feel that way. So ultimately that's what we try to come against and break the stigma, and just create a culture where mental health is normal. Like, caring about yourself is normal. It's just like going to schedule a doctor's appointment, a checkup. This is just a part of your daily routine. And it's not this special thing that should be shameful. It should be an everyday conversation and something that you are proud because you're taking care of yourself, not shame into not taking care of yourself. So just shame. Yep.
Why do you think, or for you personally, why is mental health advocacy so important?
Mental health advocacy is so important because so many people deal with it and don't even realize how common it is, what it is. They think if they don't have a diagnosis, it's just easily to be overlooked. And it's so common. So if they don't have a diagnosis, they think that they're perfectly fine. But honestly, it's just any improper mental function. So if my thoughts, cause me to act a certain way, and that, like I'm not acting myself, that's just improper. You're not having a good flow of things. So if I can properly, take care of my thoughts and get everything out, and then it not affect how I would normally act, that's when that's the goal, regardless of diagnosis. You don't have to be on medication, but it's just something that's overlooked and very prominent. In Gainesville itself, I've heard, especially since I've become a mental health advocate, I've heard of so many people coming to me and letting me know they had a diagnosis, or if they know someone that is considering committing suicide. It's just like everywhere, like forget the numbers, 1 in 4 people. I'm seeing it in my own hometown. I'm seeing it in my family. It's just so common, and people try to shy away from it because it is a sensitive subject. So we have to make it unsensitive. We have to make it public. We have to make it a culture where it is supported to seek treatment. It is a culture that is accepted and praised if you're taking care of yourself. So that's all I feel like mental health advocacy does and why it is important.
That's awesome.
That is. I was on your social media earlier, and I noticed you had a link for mental health resources. So what are some resources that are available that people may not be aware of?
It's several. It's so many out there. I can only give you a few. It's just, taking the time out to look. But even in the Gainesville community, the link in my profile bio, it is to the National Alliance on Mental Illness Hall County chapter. So that is a national organization and nonprofit for mental illness. There is a Georgia chapter, and then even smaller and specific, there is a Hall County chapter here in Gainesville. So they offer several Zooms, fundraisers, and resources on their profile. So, that's a large nonprofit, and they have a lot of resources. So you can call in. That the directory is what's in my bio. So for like thousands, hundreds of different diagnoses or issues that you may come across, you have a hotline number that you can reach out to. So it's not just a generic, we all see the suicide hotlines, but maybe you have abuse issues that you want to discuss. It's a hotline number for that. Maybe you have Alzheimer's or just anything. It's more diagnosis, more concerns, and it is very specific to help each individual. I am a resource within itself. My organization, we are a mental health fundraiser. So in the past, we've given funds to others, but now we want to give funds directly to the community. So reach out to us in our social media or email and request, funds for first or second, first couple of counseling sessions. We're willing to put money into that, paying for medications. We want to directly impact the community. So I'm a resource, you can, I'm pretty sure we'll display those handles. But if you yourself or you want to request someone else, I could possibly create a form. But really just reach out to us, and we want to fund your first couple of counseling sessions or whatever you feel, could help you out in your mental health journey. And the last thing I'll add, I've been a college student for the past couple of years of my life. And I know a lot of young adults that follow my platforms. So I just want to say, you have a resource within your university, college, or anything like that. You pay all these on-campus fees. And that's how my mental health journey started. You pay all these fees, and it's actually included. Counseling is included. You don't have to pay. So if you want to just try it out, it's free, and then people have insurance, and they can only pay like a copay, and it just be very minimum. Instead of you paying $100 a session, you can get a reduced payment with the copay because you have coverage. So just taking advantage of your different opportunities you do have available. But yeah, just go check that out if you're at a university or college or anything like that. They do have that available to you.
Awesome. Well, Faith, thank you so much for joining us. So before we go, I do want you to let the people know about anything you have coming up, whether you have any more kickball tournaments coming up this year, and then also your social media. But again, before you get the information, I do want to say thank you for sitting down with us. I love your Kicking the Stigma initiative. I think the name is kind of cute in itself. So let the people know what you have coming up and where they can find you on social media.
Okay, definitely. So we do have a summer tournament coming up, and of course it's kickball. So that should be about the end of July. We'll post details closer to that time for registration. But again, we have it 3 times a year. So come check us out, definitely. And we're looking to expand. We've had requests for football, different things like that. And we're even thinking about hosting like a sponsorship dinner, charity ball type thing. So we're just looking, and so just stay on our radar. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Kicking the Stigma. It might be an underscore somewhere in there, but I'm pretty sure we'll be tagged below. But yeah, and you can also email us at kickingthestigmafundraiser@gmail.com. Okay, so that's a little bit about us.
Awesome. Well, we will check out the kickball tournaments. And again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.